Starting out the world in day 21, I immediately got to work. I cut down a tree and replanted it, then went to the lava dispenser and got another bucket of lava to put in the wall for lighting. Then I continued to mine out the ceiling of the auto smelter chamber because it was ugly, and also it was time to replace it as it had been there since I mined that out the last episode. This took up most of day 21, but it ended up being worth it when I started to put a different roof in. I started to mine out the lining around the walls, just to kind of give it some type of spice when I re-add those in, and then cut down another tree. By this point, I was kind of running out of things to do because the base was just already coming together so good. So I did these small little things like filling in the stairs, going and checking on my auto smelter, things like that. And then after that, I got to putting in the lining around the roof with chiseled stone bricks. After all that, I started to mine out a second block tall of the ceiling just to give it a little bit more depth and kind of try to make it not feel as much like a cave and more kind of like a home. Having to repair my iron pickaxe, I immediately did that and then got back to it. Pretty much the rest of the day was just me doing some mining. I mined out the roof, I added torches. The mining of the roof was mainly what I did, but after all that, I checked my auto smelter, made sure there wasn't anything in there, and then kind of just contemplated on what to do, and then did some more minor renovations like replacing these blocks above the lava capsules. After I did that, I decided to go to the lava generator just to be let down by the fact that there was no lava. I cut down a tree, replanted the saplings, and then got back to work on the walls. After that, I started to replace anything that wasn't stone with stone, and then made some andesite walls and started to place them down round on top of that stone, just to add a little bit of flavor. Going into day 22 and continuing to put down these andesite walls. After that, I just took a moment to look at what I'd done, and then I started to do some minor adjustments, like replacing the granite with andesite on the ceiling behind the walls. after I got the stone and granite out of the way, I started to fill up that little gap with andesite, just to kind of add this kind of continuous feel of just like kind of like a cave, but also a base at the same time. I then started to fill in these walls with dark oak logs, as I had been putting it off for too long, and I needed to go ahead and do it. And then this. After that, I just kind of continued to fill in the walls, deciding to later go up and take care of that cave so that more mobs couldn't drop down from there, as that could be a legitimate risk when it comes to anything that may endanger the safety of this oasis. And then I started to make these little like kind of lamp post things. Kind of like I'm like taking after the lampposts in villages and such. I thought it would look pretty cool, and it did, but unfortunately it did not cover all the light in this area of the base, so I had to put down more than just those. So finally, after getting the lighting done, I finally decided to go take care of the cave that's right above this portion of the base, so that more mobs don't drop down. I found quite a bit of iron, and then after all that, I finally decided to head back down after I had finally cleared out the cave. I cut down a tree and then headed down to the platform to do some minor renovations. I added a small tree platform where the trees could grow instead of having it right there in the middle of the staircase, just to kind of free up some space and also add some kind of natural design to the little area below the main portion of the base. And then I started to put down some torches on top of full cobblestone blocks just to try and light up the platform a little bit so that A, the tree can grow, and B, mobs don't start to spawn. Going into day 23, I started to do some minor renovations down on this platform, just trying to make it look a little bit nicer, as most of it still kept its kind of cave look. and I didn't really have much that I could do with this area that I had in mind at the time. So I just kind of went with the flow and mined out some of the wall to try and make it look more uniform rather than sporadic. And then I just started to fill the floor in with cobblestone just to keep it in order, because a lot of the floor was still deep slate where I just mined out. So I decided to make sure that that was still going to be, the case. I was thinking I might change this if it doesn't look good, but I just kept the cobblestone look. And then I started to light up the place just to make sure that mobs couldn't spawn, as that was still a legitimate concern. Made sure to carefully place everything in its correct orders, going back and changing anything that I messed up. And then I took some deep slate tiles or deep slate bricks or whatever just to try and figure out what to do with the lighting. But instead I actually decided to use that as a lining around the bottom of this room just to add a little bit more detail and depth, as it was just kind of boxy and it looked more schooled rather than fun. So I just added that little detail. I made sure to take my time, as I still had a little bit over 70 days left to complete this. And then I finally started to work on the stairs, doing things that I hadn't even thought about until now, doing things that I was procrastinating on, and just kind of trying to get the stairs nice and polished, trying to make them look better, because at this point I hadn't really done anything to the stairs except for add smooth stone on the upper area of the stairs. So I decided to actually make this go a block deeper than it was, and just kind of dug that out and then replaced a lot of it with smooth stone. I was trying to decide what to do with the wall when I stumbled across the big cave under my house. And then I actually decided that it would be a nice little addition to maybe just make a little entrance to that cave right here, rather than my only entrance being through my house, just because that kind of... It was a little bit slow to go through my house. To get through it, because no matter where I was, it would take me a little bit longer to have to go inside and go down that elevator than to just walk outside, go down these stairs, and be inside of the big cave. I did some minor terraforming, which I'll have to admit didn't look great, but it was something, just to make it look a little bit smoother on the inside of that cave. And then I kind of just contemplated the idea of making some hanging signs just to add a little bit of flair to that entrance. I realized that it took chains, which were a bit expensive, but I could handle it. I had a lot of iron, and I had a bit of iron ingots, so I just took the risk and I decided to go for it. And I apologize for my spelling right here. I'm still getting used to the keyboard on this computer. And it just, I had a test that day, and my fingers just weren't wanting to cooperate with my brain. After that, I just started to mine out the platform for the stairs to later replace with smooth stone so that it kept its kind of nice look, continuing all the way down the stairs rather than just that upper platform. Then I got the idea to add maybe like a little bit of a railing, maybe, just to add to the depth of these stairs. I didn't really know what I was doing at this point, but I was just kind of trying to do something to try and make it look better. I continued doing that going into day 24, using a whole lot of diorite to get it done, and that was pretty much what I did going into the 24th day of this challenge. It's been a long time. I continued the railing all the way down the second row of steps, making sure to keep it at the same spot, going the same direction. And then after that, I just kind of tried to figure out how to do the lighting for down here. I didn't want to do the fencing as it was kind of, it was kind of boring. But that's what I end up doing later on, as I can't really find anything that wouldn't take up a whole bunch of space but would still look good. And then I almost died. If I were any lower on health, I would have been dead right then. Had there been a skeleton waiting for me, I would have been dead. It was terrifying. Because one moment I was just backing up, enjoying the sight of all my work, and then the next, I'm on 2.5 hearts at the bottom of that ravine. After processing what had just almost been reality, I decided to continue working on these stairs a little bit, finally putting the smooth stone in, well, as much smooth stone as I could in, and just doing that for the rest of the couple minutes. And then this is the moment that I realized that I made the stairs wrong, and one side is 6 blocks wide and the other is only 4 blocks wide. I was starting to lose it. This challenge was making me realize how imperfect my building skills were, and it was driving me insane because I had to make this as perfect as possible if I wanted to succeed in this challenge. While some more smooth stone was smelting up, I just decided to go and do some sorting, putting certain things up, taking certain things out, and just kind of moving my inventory around, moving the chests around, and then getting some more smooth stone. Or at least that's what I wanted to do. I realized that I hadn't turned the auto smelter on, and then just To try and preoccupy myself, I decided to go and see if I could find some iron, possibly, and just kind of mess around until I could get that smooth stone. And then nearly dying to a skeleton that left me on 3.5 hearts. I was a 2-hit for a zombie right now, a 1-hit for a creeper, and just a 1.5 hit for a skeleton. But finally, alas, I managed to get some peace and quiet to go and get me some iron. This cave was loaded. I mean, I got 20 iron in no time. It had a lot of resources that I had been missing out on because I was too scared to go in here in fear that I would die. And then coal. This was the first coal I had seen in days. I mean, I went from having 53 in a stack of coal to having no coal at all. And it felt amazing to actually have some coal in my inventory. The rest of this day, I pretty much just mined coal and iron, getting a bit of resources just to help me get by, so that I could, continue to do these little renovations that required iron and gold and stuff like that. And finally, after returning back to the base, I went up and checked my auto smelter, seeing how much resources I had to start to try and finish these stairs. However, it was all mostly stone, so I had to put it in for another round before I could use any of it. So I just tended to the crops, fixing what the spider had previously broken, and just kind of trying to burn time so that I wasn't just sitting here waiting around for the smooth stone to cook. Instead of doing that, I just kind of spent my time wisely and tended to the base. Going into day 25, I finally decided to hatch those eggs that I had gotten so many days ago. However, before I do that, I have to put in a small cage for them, which would just pretty much consist of a small dugout area in the side of the wall with some fences, and then I'll just throw down the eggs and hope and pray that I get a chicken. This was huge. Now I could go ahead and start to get eggs and make a whole lot of food, make a good food source with these chickens, even make some cakes, maybe. So I smelted some of my iron to get a pickaxe, and then continued to mine out the chicken's cage just to make it look nicer and also make it feel a little bit more spacious. After that, I fed this chicken almost, if not all, of my seeds to make him grow. I used so much, I even had to go into reserves and pull out a bunch of seeds just to grow him. He ate a lot. But now, with my very overfed chicken, I could get a bunch of eggs over time, and hopefully maybe set up an entire automatic egg farm with a dispenser, I think it's called, and just kind of set up like this automatic chicken farm and get a whole lot of food. I'd never have to worry about food ever again. After that, I went back down into the small little platform under the elevated section of the base and started to do some minor renovations just to tie everything in and make it look a little bit better down here, as it was still looking quite a bit bland. I started to mine out this little section, hoping maybe it could last to make it look like a little bit more spacious. Perhaps I could put storage right here, or maybe even something just along the lines of like a farm. So like maybe a chicken farm, a cow farm, something like that. I planned on doing something with this, but I actually forgot what to do with it. I forgot what I was planning to do with it, so I just kind of did it, and then kind of just went with the flow for a little bit. I stepped back for a moment just to admire my work, and unfortunately had to leave. Joining back in, still on day 25, but certainly at least close to it being day 26. After coming back from whatever I was doing, I kind of just gained my bearings, mining out the floor a little bit, kind of just trying to remember what I was doing, because every time I leave, I just like kind of blank on what I was doing before I left. It kind of slipped my mind because I don't really think about it while I'm walking around the store or playing a game with my parents or anything like that. So it was mostly just me trying to get my bearings back together and just doing some minor renovations. And then it started to thunderstorm up above, and it scared me. I mean, I about jumped out of my skin when I heard that, because in real life, there weren't any clouds or anything like that, and then I heard the thunder, and it made me kind of panic, because I didn't know that there was a storm coming in, and then I realized that it was just in the game. And then I sorted my chests and backpacks, making a new chest because I ran out of storage, and just kind of continuing on with the day. There wasn't much of day 25 left, but I did manage to crack one egg open, which did not give me a chicken, unfortunately. After that, I copied the dirt platform onto the other side of the cobblestone platform, just to kind of make symmetry and try and get it to look nice, kind of going with like a a dark oak forest kind of vibe, so I just decided that it'd be kind of cool to have dark oak trees on either side of this platform. I just got completely baffled by the fact that there was a zombie that I forgot that I wasn't going to be mining the trees, but it's fine. I didn't know how a zombie got down there. I thought I had spawn-proofed everything that you could see within like 24 blocks of the base, but I guess I was wrong, because there was a zombie right there. Going into the morning of day 26, I felt amazing. This was the longest I'd ever made in a hardcore world. Ever. I mean, it was insane just because I'm not good at Minecraft. I've never been good at building. I'm not great at surviving, so it felt amazing to have this great big base that just, was so great. Back up on the main floor, I decided to make a little waterfall kind of thing by the first set of stairs that lead down to the platform. And then I got my chicken a wife. After silently celebrating, I decided to give this chicken all of the seeds that I had left, just to kind of try and speed up the growing process, just to hopefully get that chicken farm on the road to success. After turning my copper into blocks, I started to make out the little pond that all of this water is going to be flowing into. And then this is where I realized that I needed to connect the lake to this little area right here, which I had actually forgotten about. I completely forgot that I had to do that, and when I went up there, it threw me off. I mean, it really did not compute to me that I had to fill all that. And finally, it was time to release the water. Don't worry, I do extend this by 1 block for those of you who noticed that I had made a mistake. I do fix this later on, I swear I do. After getting that done, I realized that I was always running low on storage, so I decided to upgrade my backpack, which I found out that I didn't have enough string to do all this, so I had to go out and get some more string later on. Finally, I got my, fourth bucket of lava and brought it over to the lava lamps just to kind of try and fill them in. It's going slow so far. I've got to do it one by one, but it's working out pretty well, and it is ending up looking good. Finally, I decided to go and try and get some more string and some, just some resources, stuff like that. This was actually the one time that spider spawn was actually pretty slow. I had to go on a pretty vast adventure to get enough string to do all this. But the one upside of having to come down here to get all this string is that I actually managed to get that one diamond vein that I yearned so badly to get for. So yeah, that was good. And I took down a couple of spiders, waited for them to spawn, and so on. Going into day 27, I actually found another diamond. Actually, another 3 diamonds, to be exact. So I had actually found quite a bit of resources down here, and it was all kind of just working out for me. I do really wish that spiders had a 100% drop rate though, because I did have to kill like a lot of spiders to get all the stuff that I needed. After all that, I finally headed back up and tried to make a diamond upgrade template, but unfortunately the diamond upgrade template was just a little too expensive. So I actually decided to go with an iron or a gold upgrade. I also decided to get a crafting upgrade template just because I was tired of carrying around a crafting table and having to use that crafting table by putting it down and just having to pick it up and all that. But this crafting template will now allow me to craft in my inventory without any troubles. After that, I tended to the crops, bred my chicken, and continued on with the day. I finally decided to redo the roof in this little area. Just kind of doing some regular things and this and that for the rest of the day. This did take up actually a lot of time, just because I had to either be standing on something or jumping to place down the stone bricks, which was a really slow process, but I wouldn't take it back for anything because it would look very good at the end. When I said that this took up most of the day, I meant all of it. That was an understatement. This literally took me all the way to day 28. 28 days. that took me about 15 minutes to do. Like, it took so long. I took my 5th bucket of lava and I put it in the chamber and then realized that I was out of glass. This sucked because it meant that I have to go all the way back up to the surface just to get sand. That's it. I just needed sand. I mean, it wasn't even anything like super important, just sand. Heading back up to surface level was disorientating. I mean, it was beautiful, don't get me wrong. And it was raining, it was foggy, and the shaders just made everything look so good. But it was bright, and I could practically smell the wildlife through the screen. I mean, it had been, what, like 18 days since the last time that I went up above ground, and it was relieving in a way. And then my pickaxe broke. My only pickaxe. I didn't even have a piece of wood to make sticks. I mean, yeah. After that, I went and got sticks, got a pickaxe, got a bunch of coal, and finally went back to get some sand. After getting all the sand that I could find, I finally went back down into the cave. After a while of trying to figure out how to fix this door, I just put down a trap door, which didn't look the best, but at least it was functional, so I'll just let it slide for now. It actually ended up looking pretty good for me. I got a bunch of sand and a bunch of actual coal. After this, I just tended to the farm for a little bit and then just fed the chickens to get another chick, which was very, very cute. Actually, I forgot how cute baby animals in Minecraft can be. With some of the paper and leather that I had gathered on that trip into the cave, I made 26 books to start making some enchanting tables later on. After making those bookshelves, I made my second pickaxe, diamond pickaxe, to go and get some obsidian, so that I can make a enchanting table. And then I finally noticed that the waterfall was all weird, so I fixed that real quick. And then I went out to get some more resources. I can't remember exactly if I went out to get leather or rotten flesh or string, but I believe it was rotten flesh since I had just started to put up the enchanting table. Coming back home on day 29, I went and got one more book to try and get a little bit closer to making an enchanting table. And then I decided to do something drastic. I decided to take the lava out of the lava chambers to actually make this enchanting table, which isn't that bad because after I get the enchanting table, I'll be confident enough to go down and strip mine for a while to get a bunch of obsidian to go to the nether. So I wasn't too broken up about it, but I did think about it for a while, but I did use the lava out of those chambers to make the obsidian to get the enchanting table. After getting all of that obsidian, I quickly made an enchanting table and very hastily put it in front of those bookshelves. After I put the enchanting table down, I realized I needed some more leather to make bookshelves, and so I went back into the bigger cave around my house and started to kill some zombies to get their rotten flesh. And then this happened. Returning back home after a not too eventful run into the caves, I went back to the auto smelter and started to smelt up the the rotten flesh that I just got. After hatching another chick, which was very cute. With some lapis lazuli in hands, I quickly got down to the enchanting table. So quickly, in fact, I forgot to put down the other bookshelves, which probably would have gotten me fortune, but I got an efficiency 3 unbreaking 3 pickaxe, which was great. Then, in celebration, I went home and made myself a nice little clock, which would allow me to see what time it is above ground. After going home and sorting out my inventory, I decided to start a diamond strip mine. to try and get enough for full diamond armor, and hopefully some more for some more diamond tools. Now, not a whole lot happened. Pretty much I just dug down to negative 58, which is diamond level. I mined for a bunch of diamonds, and after all that, I just got a lot of diamonds. That's pretty much all that happened. I mean, yeah, I'll show the sped up footage just to let you guys know that I didn't cheat or anything, but you know, that's all that I did, really. Around the middle of day 30, I decided to go back up just to test my luck with another pickaxe, as I had kind of messed up with the first one. I meant to get a Fortune 3 one from a 15 enchanted book setup. But I had accidentally done, 11 bookshelves, and it, I only got efficiency 3, and I just wanted to test my luck. I got an efficiency 4, which I'm not gonna lie, that wasn't that bad. But considering I wanted a Fortune 3 efficiency 4 Unbreaking 3 pickaxe, you can see how I'm disappointed. But it's still pretty good, and I'm not gonna complain, because, it's an efficiency 3, an efficiency 4 Unbreaking 3 pickaxe, so you can't go wrong with that. For until the end of day 30, I just stripped mined. I had to speed this up 100 times, and then I went back up with 35 diamonds to make enough to make some enchanted diamond armor. Going into day 31, I kind of just wandered around. I didn't really know what to do with myself at this point. I had done a lot, but I was kind of running out of ideas on what to do, so I just kind of tended to the house, getting another chicken, and just trying to figure out, like, what exactly to do. I made a backpack tank upgrade, which would allow me to carry a bunch more lava than I would be able to with just buckets. And this would help me in getting a nether portal from the lava down in the strip mine. Arriving at the lava pool, I hastily filled my backpack up and then started to head back up to the surface. Well, I lost track, and I thought that I was going to use this lava for a portal, so because I am too lazy to go back and fix my mistake, I think I do the portal a little bit later on, actually, which surprised me, even. So, yeah. With the rest of the lava that I had, I actually decided to turn it into obsidian, and I think this is where I got mixed up with thinking that I went to go get all that lava for a portal. Which, in a way, I kind of did, but we're not going to talk about that. After that, I went back down to the lava pool, got some more obsidian, and then came back up. After finding the perfect spot for this portal, which I concluded was between two of these lava falls, I went and got a flint and steel and lit the portal. Before I went into the portal, though, I wanted to upgrade my backpack to diamond level, which would give me even more storage, but I couldn't do that until I got one more piece of leather. So I went out and I killed a zombie or two just to get some more rotten flesh to smelt in the auto smelter. I got back, waited on the leather to smelt, and then I finally upgraded my backpack to a diamond level backpack. Psych! I need my backpack to firstly be a gold tier backpack. This surprised me, really. I didn't realize that it had to be certain tiers before you could upgrade them, and then I realized that I was out of string, so I had to get more of that string before I could get that upgraded, so I had to do that. Oh yeah, and by the way, it's day 32. I forgot to mention that. Finally, after getting the last piece of string that I needed, I came back, I made a gold template upgrade, and I upgraded my backpack to be gold level. And then finally upgraded it to be diamond level, which took way longer than I actually anticipated it to, because I didn't really expect to need so much resources just to upgrade it to a diamond, but it all worked out, and it was very worth it because I had a whole lot of storage now. And so finally, after getting golden boots on, I entered hell. It actually wasn't a bad spawn, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it wasn't great, but it wasn't anything lethal. I did almost run off the side of the lava. off the side of the wall into the lava, though, so that was fun. And then I decided to get some of this magma. Actually, some is kind of an understatement. I got a lot of magma blocks, like a lot of them. For the rest of the time that I was in the Nether, I just kind of explored around, trying to get my bearings on where I was, what I had to work with, what type of ecosystem I had to work with, and then I decided to head up, and this happened. I thought for certain I was dead. I mean, even after I got out of the lava, I just kept burning and I couldn't eat to regen. And it was terrifying. I mean, I can't believe that my character is strong enough to survive molten hot lava to begin with. I didn't know my character was that strong. But, like, seriously, that was absolutely terrifying. I learned my lesson about not using stairs. After that scare, I just decided to, you know, do some things, like try to figure out what to do with the magma blocks. And I think that's kind of just what I did for the rest of day 32. I just put some magma blocks at the bottom of the lake. Almost died a couple times to the magma blocks pulling me down onto them while I was mid-swim. But that was pretty much it, really. After rejoining the next day, I kind of just meandered around trying to figure out what I was doing last. Again, I swear, every time I leave and rejoin, I forget what I was doing. And then I forgot that I had Aqua Affinity, or whatever it's called, on my boots, and it freaked me out for a second. But I continued to kind of just like circle a magma cube ring around the base for the rest of day 32. Well, the rest of day 32's night, I suppose. After I did all that, I decided to look around the Nether just to try and see what I could find. Maybe like if I could find anything interesting. To gather some quartz, to get some just resources, stuff like that. I went back inside, put my netherrack in the auto smelter to smelt into nether bricks, and just kind of meandered around trying to see what I could do with the place. By this point, I was completely out of ideas other than replace roofs, walls, floors, anything like that. So I was just kind of trying to make everything look good, just because the base needed a little bit of a spice up. So I used some of that basalt and turned it into polished basalt. With the basalt, I mined out the wall and replaced it with the basalt, just to give it a little bit of a spice up in that area. I decided to go with this kind of like checker pattern just to try and see what I could come up with. Then I took the basalt and did this kind of pillory wall looking thing with the area by the stairs. With the nether bricks that I had just acquired, I continued to do this like little cool design in the wall with them kind of making it look like a little pillar. And then, you know, I just kind of tried to figure out how to do that wall, like, you know, how to make it look good, and just copied it on the other side of the water fountain, or waterfall. After that, I took this quartz and I kind of toyed with the idea of filling this in with quartz, just to see about making it kind of a nethery kind of feel, since there's a waterfall right next to it with magma blocks and stuff like that. And I actually decided to just go with it because it looked good and it looked smooth and it matched the rest of the base still. So I went into the nether and got some more quartz, and then went back into the overworld after I did that and put in these quartz walls. I actually decided to go back into the nether and just explore a little bit, since I hadn't really just explored, and then got sidetracked by some glowstone. Just grabbing some glowstone for lighting. Finally, I came back with the glowstone and started to fill it in as lighting on the walls instead of using the torches, which just seemed kind of out of theme. So I decided to go with glowstone just because it felt right. I mean, nether theme, you know, it kind of popped. I even added some in the waterfall, almost burning to a crisp because of the magma blocks, and just kind of tying everything together with the rest of these magma blocks that I have conjured together. I felt so good about this that I even enchanted my diamond axe with Unbreaking 3 just to keep the longevity of it nice and fresh. I decided to move the iron chests full of cobblestone into the outer area just because it was starting to get cramped. Filled all that up. After going through the backpack upgrades and all of the things that I could craft, I decided to go back into the nether just to look around for a little bit. I was hoping to maybe find some like a crimson forest to get some, I forget what they're called. They're like frog lights, I think they're called. I believe. That's like a wild guess. But yeah, I was hoping to find a crimson or warped forest so that I could get some frog lights. I'll be honest, it was not looking great. I mean, I found the entire nether fortress before I found a crimson or warped forest, which usually does not happen. Usually I find a crimson or warped forest before I find the nether fortress. That's the only spoiler that I'll give. I don't think that I've actually gotten to that point yet of finding the nether fortress, but it is soon right here. Oh, actually, it's right here. I find the nether fortress, like, right here. But yeah, most of it was just the what are they called? Badlands or something like that? I don't know, but most of it was just that gray basalt land, so it wasn't great. Going into day 34, I finally decided just to head back, as I didn't really find anything, and I didn't see myself finding anything for right now, so I just decided to go back, have a little piece of quiet, maybe work on the base a little bit. This was the beginning of the end. Me walking up to these platforms that I've made. I tripped on a piece of netherrack, and I couldn't do anything. I couldn't do anything at all. I just stared at my computer in disbelief. Of course I die like that. Not even 50 days in. I mean, hey, at least I got this far, right? That does suck, though. I had a lot of things that I wanted to do with this world. I guess this is just going into the channel's history as a failed attempt. So here's where I died. I definitely lost some stuff, so that sucks. Did I lose my backpack? Oh, I think I lost my backpack. Dang. Well, that was fun, I guess. Where's the portal? I'm gonna save you the trouble of listening to me sulk for, I think, about 7 minutes. I went back and I got a netherite reinforced chest and made a little memorial for all of my stuff. After I did that, I just kind of let the chickens free. Hey, if there's not going to be anybody to take care of them, might as well let them live out their dreams as a little, just as some companions down here. So I'll see you all next time, I guess. Post in the comments section what you think that I should try doing for the next 100-day challenge. I may or may not be doing another one of these. It really depends, but I'm hopeful that I will be doing another one of these challenges. It was really very fun. If you have made it this far in the video, please consider liking and subscribing. It is always temporary. You can always go back and change it if you want. There's no pressure. Just, I hope you liked it all, and have a great day.